Trap House News. It is your boy Marvin. And first, I know we've been jumping all over the place, but I've been having auditions and life has been happening, so we're gonna get back to our regularly scheduled programming soon. Anyway, welcome back to the news, and we're going to start with Black History Month BHM celebrations. And so there was a teacher at West Charlotte High School who was like, I got an idea for my door decorations. And she went up and was like, here, niggas. And she was like, but not this door, this door. And so there was this huge, I'm not doing this in the chat already. And there was this huge fallout on these particular doors. Now, when I first saw it, I said, what in the white? Because it had white sheets written all over it. But what I did find out is actually doing my research, because we do research for this show, is that West Charlotte High School is a primarily black high school, and it's one of the first public schools in the Charlotte Mecklenburg County history. So this was a black teacher who made a decision to say, I'm gonna put this up. And if you look at the original photo, it has Sears over top, and now we're going, okay, let's all make it make sense. And that's because Sears at the time in the 1930s was one of the first department stores to let black people and white people shop in the store. But what they did say was, y'all gotta go over here to the color entrance. You can come in, but you gotta go through the back. And so it was one of those things where then you had to sit and go, wow, is this smart or is this not? And of course, the administration was like, take it down. They said the door was up for 3 hours, and that was it. 3 hours up, down, we don't want to see it anymore. Now, I think it's crazy because we still realize that certain imaging triggers us. It's one of those things where you see certain things and you react immediately before you get context. So I don't know if the door was smart or not, or if it should have been taken down or not. But what it did do was generate conversation. And as a teacher, that's kind of what you want, right? So it's challenging the future. And that's one of the things I want us to know, that the future of the United States is okay, because we here in the United States are not a racist country, according to her right here, Nimrata and them. But we deal with our kids, and so the kids are thinking and talking, and that lets us know that our future, at least our future, is in safe hands. Yeah, I did that. I took it. It was easy. It was an easy layup. I took it. So what? And speaking of our futures, Alabama Supreme Court has basically just passed and voted that embryos created during the IVF, the in vitro fertilization procedure, the frozen embryos are considered babies. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a win for test tube babies everywhere. This is a very interesting thing, because if we are believing, if Alabama is saying that the process of in vitro fertilization, the embryo that is created in there, is considered life, it's going to have long-lasting effects beyond what this is. So, just a quick what happened. There was a court case, and the court case was a guy who worked at a lab, had a tray, and it was 3 different families of babies, right? Embryos, frozen embryos. And he burned his hand. And in the process of burning his hand, what do? You drop the tray. Shit. So he dropped the tray. And of course, the families were like, what? And they were like, I don't believe this. We are mourning the loss of life. And if anyone who's actually going through the IVF process, you know that this is a very challenging process, right? Now, what the clinic should have done is been like, hey, the next IVF process and treatment is on us, our bad, we messed that up. But to take it all the way to the Supreme Court because you decided to sue for wrongful death. Wrongful death. Now let's look at what IVF is in the process. The chances of a successful IVF, like fertilization happening, is like 20%. 20%. Which means you have to make a whole lot of frozen embryos and try it. Let's change it. The percentage of failure is 80%. Let's give it a better number. 80% chance of failing, meaning 4 out of 5 times you're going to fail. So if you're telling me I make a tray of babies, embryos, frozen embryos, right here, snack time, that they won't grow here. Nothing will happen while they're on these trays. They're considered babies though. To put into a woman, and if it fails, she is now at the risk of it being called a terminated pregnancy. Like when people do things and don't think it through, it makes me, don't be a dickhead. So now clinics and doctors who do IVF treatment are going to have to regulate the number of embryos that they create. Because let's say I make 22 and the first one takes. I got 21 of you in the freezer. I can't toss it out. I can't throw it in the dishwasher and clean it because that would be murder. Jackasses. It's one of those things where people have to sit down and stop reacting to knee-jerk reactions. And then you look at the people who are in power. You look at the judges who are actually in Alabama. And the thing that crosses my mind that kind of really sits in that is you go, damn, some people really did need to be swallowed. Facts. I'm sick of this shit. We got dumbass people in power, folks, and we keep voting them in. Stop. Let's abort. And also, Mulan is one of my favorite Disney movies, by the way. That is not what she was doing in this particular scene. But speaking of folks that needed to be swallowed, neo-Nazi group Blood Tribe decided to march in Nashville, Tennessee, in downtown Nashville, Tennessee. They pulled out the swastika flags, they threw on the red hoodies, and they threw on masks. And they marched through downtown Nashville. Not only just downtown Nashville, they did it during Black History Month. Nigga, what? Black History Month? Where was the Montgomery Brawl Squad when you need them? It was only about 24 of those dudes. That was fine. Look at that. Squared them up in the street. Now, I'm not condoning for violence, and that is something that is not a position we take here at Comedy Trap House News. But sometimes things happen. But they went out and they marched through the city, and there was all this blowback. And I was just like, man, they probably had the opportunity to walk through the city in their brand new Trumps. Yep, Donald Trump has released a shoe, ladies and gentlemen. He has released the America the Greats, or the Bold and the Beautifuls, or whatever they're called. These are god-awful, ugly shoes. And so if I ever see someone in those, my first question is going to be, what are those? Anyway, those shoes went on sale for $399. And 1 million of them have been sold, and they are sold out. Sold out. One of the shoes went for a resale value of $450,000. They went from a pair of Trump shoes to a pair of Balenciagas. All right, and he did all of this to help with his legal troubles. So as you know, he just lost his civil case to E. Jean and that squad. And then he just lost his fraud case to New York, both civil cases, but to the tune of $355 million. And so with these shoe sales, they were supposed to help. And also, the good old MAGA patriots, the people who said Donald Trump has been unjustly tried, started a GoFundMe. Oh, shit. I missed the joke. Go back. Go back. That never happened. The Trump shoes are out. And they're just out in time for the next election, which gives the insurrectionists an opportunity to recreate January 6th all over again. I missed that joke. I never miss. I told you, anytime January, I can't believe I missed that. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. So, the January 6s are on back order right now. Anyway, now we can move forward. I had to get that. So, someone created a GoFundMe for Trump and his legal problems, right? And the GoFundMe, as of today, 5 days in, is at $872,000. $872,000. Look at the donations, folks. We're talking about to a millionaire, to a man who don't really need the funds, who got buildings all through New York. 10,000, 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. And so I just want to see something real quick. Yeah, so I started to go I started to GoFundMe, ladies and gentlemen. But I started to GoFundMe because I'm just curious. I'm curious as to the nature of donations and charity, right? Like, Donald Trump don't need no ends, and he's got 872. I need ends. I could use the help, ladies and gentlemen. So I just put up a GoFundMe just to see something. The link will actually be in the bio of this. I'm just trying to see something. That's all I'm saying. Back to work. Attorney General Letitia James, who actually tried this case in New York. I'm just trying to see something. Help me. Who tried this case? Who tried this case said, listen, if he can't pay the bread, if he can't come out with the 354 mil, we gonna seize property. Like, she's on some we collecting. She was like, because if a regular person did this, y'all be on this hill. So guess what? We gonna get on his hills too. And then she was like, you know what? I go to work every day and I see 40 Wall Street every day. She was like, that's his, right? We could just run that. Like, she legitimately is up there on the stand and she's like, listen, smoke? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the smoke, and I want all of it. Now, who doesn't want smoke is the former ex-FBI informant, Alexander Smirnoff. Not to be confused with Smirnoff Ice, which is a phenomenal drink. Listen, you haven't had a Smirnoff Ice in like 20 years, but they used to go hard. Them wine coolers was everything. Anyway, he admits to lying about the Biden's business deal. So remember, there was all this, the Bidens had all these illicit deals in Ukraine, and get Hunter Biden's laptop. Like, that's anytime they be yelling about a laptop or a computer, you know shit is crazy. Get Hunter Biden's laptop, get Hillary Clinton's computer at the house. But that's what happened, right? And the Republican Party was standing behind it. Hunter Biden is a piece of trash. Don't vote for Joe. And it was like, well, Donald Trump is a piece of trash, but you're not talking about that one. But anyway, what he said, what Smirnoff said was, all right, so I worked closely with the intelligence agency, the Russian intelligence agency, because they wanted to perpetuate a story to help, you know, collude with some election things. Now, we don't know who Russia colluded with and why it will be a benefit to not vote for Biden? We don't know. One can only assume, guess maybe, but we don't know. And so, dealing with Russia's intelligence, this guy said he's got connects high up. Now, mind you, this is the same Russian intelligence that makes sure everyone knows that the war in Ukraine is a special military activity and not a war. This is the same intelligence that let us know that Alexei Navalny was poisoned, but it wasn't from us. And now Alexei Navalny is dead. He literally was on TV while he had a court hearing, talked to the judge the day before, dropped dead the next day, and they're like, hey, where's his body? And everybody's like, body? What body? So if we're talking of one of the most corrupt countries in the world doing whatever the hell they want to do, and we know he's friends with someone else who was like, hey, Russia can attack the NATO people who don't pay their bills. Listen, I'm not saying Trump is guilty. All I'm saying is, if the shoe fits. If the shoe fits. And ladies and gentlemen, that is our time today at Comedy Trap House News. I hope you enjoyed the news. Any questions? We're going to hop in the comments, play around for a little bit. Let's see what we got. Oh, we got some people that finally made live. Bree, don't do that to me right now. Thank you, Jay. Snaps for the auditions. She hiding her brownness. This is all, so they're trying to check off some maybe baby. That's wild. Should have been called 3-6 months. I like that. Dump Taylors, Jan 6s. Balenciagas made you laugh out loud at work. Thank you. Oh, GoFundMe. Yeah, listen, ladies and gentlemen. I put together the GoFundMe for the show. I literally was sitting there and I was snapping pictures, and so I had to go to their site, and then I was like, it's not very hard to set up a GoFundMe at all. I did it within 5 minutes, and then I said, let's see what happens. But dead ass, let's see what happens. Ladies and gentlemen, prove me right. Prove that this world is giving.
Put the link in the chat.
Let me see it.
Yeah, put the link in the chat.
I'm gonna put the link in the chat right now. Hold on. Such a ridiculous thing. What do we have though? How do you feel about The Rock trying to make a comeback? He's old. Listen, The Rock was one of my favorite wrestlers back in the day. He doesn't move the same, and I think it'll be great for entertainment purposes. I think it'll be great to bring the crowds back because people like things like that. But in the realms of I actually like watching wrestling matches. Like, I actually like people jumping over each other and doing all the wrestling things, right? And that's not going to happen with The Rock. Sure, there'll be some simple moves. It might be a spear. You're going to look at a stunner. You're going to get a people's elbow. But he's old. Sit your ass down. That's literally how I feel. It was like when Ric Flair was in the 90s still wooing, and I was like, he's going to have a heart attack, and I don't want to see that live on TV. I don't.
I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
So, do you still listen to R. Kelly?
What? Huh?
Do you have a problem listening to R. Kelly?
It won't put the link in the chat. I tried.
We'll put it in the description.
It was like, nah, Nick. Anyway, do I listen to R. Kelly? The answer is when he pops up.
Okay.
So
you don't feel the same way. My point is, you don't feel the same way towards Vince McMahon.
First of all, Vince McMahon's not wrestling, okay?
He was?
No, yeah, in the 90s, and but I'm speaking on the terms of like, should we not watch wrestling? I mean, if you take that stance, the same as R. Kelly, then I support you in having that stance. I wouldn't say no.
Once pee, once poo.
Yeah, I think R. Kelly's issue was the children, though.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about, and apparently that was a problem in the hip hop industry in general. Is a lot of grooming, a lot of grooming of these young R&B stars, because, you know, there's always that rumor with A. Marie. A. Marie was supposed to be The Rock's golden child, remember? And then Rihanna came through, and I'm speaking only on hearsay and speculation. This is not news or news reporting, but the rumor is there's a reason Rihanna became Rihanna, and A. Marie is a term you think you go, oh, I think I remember that song, when she was legitimately introduced as the Princess of the Rock with her first single. We ain't got to get into that. But if R. Kelly comes on, I've already purchased the songs, right? Like I purchased the songs, and then some of the songs I even downloaded off of LimeWire. So I'm not funding R. Kelly. So if it comes on, I will listen to Strip for You. You know, I might just, and I might sing to it.
Right.
Let me see. Are you excited about the? Yes, that's an easy one. I am very excited about the Deadpool Wolverine one. The acting skills coming in handy for reactions. You should see when I tell a girl I love her. I joke, ladies and gentlemen. Vince McMahon does run that company. He gets a massive stake in it. He just stepped down. You think he's not getting his money anymore? Like, he just stepped down. That's all he did. X-Men 97, I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Really?
Yes. So, here's why.
Okay, go ahead.
I thought the original X-Men was damn near perfect, right? In the 90s, they had a run of cartoons that literally changed all of how we consume cartoons. X-Men in the 90s, Batman, the animated series in the 90s, Spider-Man in the 90s. Those three shows legitimately changed how we consume and what we expect from our cartoons.
Low-key Superman was good.
Superman was good, but I mean, Batman the animated series might have been the best.
Yes.
And then right after that, X-Men with the love triangle with Jean and Wolverine and Morph dying, and then Morph coming back, and then Apocalypse having Morph under his groove. Like it's going to be very, 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 very hard to match that. So I know we're going back to the classic animation style, but we already know the story's not going to be the same. It's not going to be a redo. It's going to be kind of a weird continuation. So I'm going to watch it. I'm just not going into it with the same excitement. It's like I have zero excitement for the live action of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I think it's going to be trash, to be honest. When the creators step out of the show, you already know they're like, what the fuck are you doing? But yeah, I have not seen the new Vince Staples show yet. I was a little sore about it because my homie Gail Bean, auditioned for it, and we worked our asses off to audition for it, and when she didn't get it, I was like, fuck that show. No, but I will watch. I support all things that black people put on TV, even Tyler Perry's, but if it sucks, I will stop watching it, period. What up, though, bro? I appreciate your work. Oh, thank you. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that. You know, we out here trying. We're trying. Yeah, and it's a Disney Plus continuation. That's the last piece. Is Disney's so weird in what they want to do, and I have no problem in inclusion on anything, but I don't like inclusion for the sake of inclusion, right? Like, it's not gonna be like, let's take everything that we know is not included and throw it in it. Like, if it comes up naturally, then that's fine, but if it's forced, it will be. Anyway, we'll watch the show, we'll get back to it. Yeah, listen, Into the Spider-Verse, people that, yeah, the thing is, working on a show out of the pure, I want to work on this show, and working on a show with trying to fit things in for a certain narrative creates two different products. I'm not hating the people who they have on the staff. I'm just not excited about the show yet. Now, mind you, we could get 10 episodes in and I could be like, this is the greatest thing in the world. I just, right now, at this very second, while we are sitting here talking through your phone, laptop, iPad, or TV, for those of you who got the whole setup and like to see me large, I'm not excited yet. That's all.
The two things that got me excited was seeing, just from the sheer fun of it, was Gambit hopping on Wolverine and powering up his claws.
Yes.
And then Magneto taking over. The story idea of Magneto taking over the school.
Listen,
the animation was so-so.
The animation's supposed to be so-so. That was their choice.
It's still been, I think they could have made it.
They could have cleaned it up a little bit, yeah. Like I said, I'm hesitant. That's all. I'm not saying it's going to be bad. I'm just hesitant. Yeah, that's it. I'm just hesitant. Okay. And Gambit is my favorite X-Men. I actually, like, if you look up Gambit's stats, he's 6'2", 187 pounds. We're built the same. So, for those creating the next X-Men movies in the future, I, Marvin, am built the exact same as Gambit. And he's my favorite character. And I'm a noob, so I can twirl the cane. What's that with a different list, guys? Just putting it out there.
That Gambit gonna be saying, "What up, baby?"
Yeah, listen. I'll go down there for you and go on that New Orleans accent and keep moving. Like, don't play with me, mon ami. Anyway, dude, that is our time here at Comedy Trap House News. Thanks for banging with us. We'll be back next week. Like I said, I'm trying to see something, ladies and gentlemen. So like, subscribe, super chat, and if you look in the